What's up guys, MTG Matt for you, and for me it's day 2 of Streets of New Capenna. Yesterday I was already brewing on a great Grixis list featuring Obnixilis, and today we're gonna be building a new deck live right here. Let's put this to standard, obviously. And there are two ideas that I have that I want to build around, and I think for now today we're gonna be focusing on a deck which is built around Teleportation Circle. Okay, so Teleportation Circle is this 4-mana enchantment in white from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, which says, at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this can just flicker an artifact or creature, and you might wonder why with a new expansion out we would like to build around this card that already has been around since last summer. Well, the reason being is that Streets of New Capenna has added some great new enter the battlefield creatures with which we can get a lot of value out of Teleportation Circle. So that's the whole idea, and this is what we're going to be building today. So we got 4 copies of Teleportation Circle to make sure that we get this flicker effect consistently. And then, first of all, we wanna, let's just gather some good creatures that wouldn't work nicely with this. So one new one that's obviously gonna be insane is Titan of Industry, right? Titan of Industry, new mythic from Streets of New Capenna, 7 mana, 7/7, in green, with reach and trample, which says, when it enters the battlefield, you choose to destroy target artifact or enchantment, gain target player against 5 life, create a 4/4 Rhino Warrior creature token, and put a shield counter on a creature you control. So if you get multiple triggers off of this is gonna be insane. So we certainly want to have at least 2 copies of this. So that's a great enter the battlefield effect. Then also from Streets of New Capenna, there is this new angel, Sanctuary Warden, right? By the way, what we're doing right now is we're just, we've stated more or less the idea of the deck. The idea is we want to abuse Teleportation Circle to get powerful enter the battlefield effects over and over and win the game with value, right? Because we get a lot of value out of our creatures. So Sanctuary Warden, it's a 6 mana flyer in white. It's a 5/5. And when it enters the battlefield with 2 shield counters on it, so it's pretty hard to remove unless our opponent has exile effects. And when Sanctuary Warden enters the battlefield or attacks, you may remove a counter from a creature or planeswalker you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So when this enters the battlefield, right away you can remove a shield counter to make a 1/1 draw a card, which is fantastic. And obviously when we flicker it with Teleportation Circle, she's gonna get her 2 shield counters back, right? So Sanctuary Warden is also definitely a big value creature when it comes to enter the battlefield effects. Then also from Streets of New Capenna, there's this new dinosaur, right, that rams us, and it's in Topiary Stomper. I've played this card at the pre-release, and it felt really good. Let's see how it's going to be in standard. So it's a 3 mana 4/4. Make sure you show up here. 3 mana 4/4 Vigilance. When it enters, you search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And the Stomper can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. So this is gonna be nice for ramping. Certainly want multiple copies of that, but for now, we're just gathering the creatures we want to have in the deck, and we can worry about the exact amount later. Then, Teleportation Circle also flickers artifacts, so a very obvious addition is Esika's Chariot, right? Because Chariot is an artifact. We can flicker, and when we flicker it, it just creates cat creature tokens over and over again. Note in the stack already that we want to cast high mana value stuff, right? So it's nice if we can ramp And so Prosperous Innkeeper is certainly a nice addition to the deck, right? At 2 mana, creates a treasure token. It can ram us into the teleportation circle or the chariot. And also when creatures enter the battlefield over and over again, we get life over and over again, which is some nice upside. Speaking of creatures entering the battlefield over and over again, I'd like to try out this new card called Gala Greeters, right? So 2 mana Elf Druid is 1/1, which says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Put a 1/1 counter on Gala Greeters, create a tapped treasure token, or you gain 2 life. So this can grow, gains us life, and can also ramp us. So Gala Greeters, I'm gonna try this out for sure. Now, we've already added some cards to the deck, so for now let's pause and actually take a look at what our deck has and hasn't yet. So we got this core with Teleportation Circle, that's key to the deck, right? So we want 4 of that. I think 4 Azaga's Chariot is also pretty self-explanatory. Azaga's Chariot has already proven itself to be a very powerful card, and it fits perfectly into the core idea of this deck. Now with the top end, I think 2 Titans of Industry are okay for now. However, this is like our big finisher. So if we make sure that we have enough ramp, we could certainly add even maybe 3 copies of it. That's certainly an option. Or even like 3 copies of Sanctuary Warden. So something like this could certainly be playable, right? Alright. Then actually, another powerful enter the battlefield effect, or not a powerful ATB, but you see what I mean, is Workshop Warchief, right? Workshop Warchief. It's a 5-drop and ATBs we gain 3 life, and when it dies we get a 4/4. And it's a 5/3 with trample, and we can also blitz it in. So this, the enter the battlefield effect is not insane, but it just gives us, it's just a big value creature in itself, so it fits into the theme of our deck, right? Because we just want to overwhelm our opponent. So, let's see. Are there any other cool enter the battlefield effects or enter the battlefield creatures? We can actually take a look. Let's say enters the battlefield as a search term. Because for now, note that I started with Teleportation Circle, right? And then I just added these creatures in that I knew were new from Streets of New Capenna and would be good in an enter the battlefield strategy. But I was actually just looking at creatures I already knew, or creatures that were in the colors we were in, right? But maybe there's something interesting in other colors, so let's just put it enters the battlefield and go just through a sort for creatures and just go through all the mana waves, right? So we start with 1. See if there's anything interesting here. Network Disruptor, not really. Silver Raven, when enters the battlefield, scry 1. This could be a decent 1-drop, but we want to have big value, right? So that's probably not fitting into our game plan. Well, Epicure. Yeah, I mean the one-drop ATBs are pretty low power. Okay, there's nothing noteworthy there, so let's go to 2. 2 mana. Ambitious Farmhand is nice in the early game, right? It could just find us some planes. Back up Aiden, puts 1. Dawnbringer Cleric destroys enchantments and echoes card from graveyard. I guess that's just fine, not more. I mean, if you want to get rid of enchantments or artifacts, I'd rather have this Changeling at 2 mana, which we're gonna see. Intrepid Adversary is interesting, right? Because you can pay the mana after it enters the battlefield. So that's pretty cool. But we don't really have a go-wide strategy, I assume. Actually, I mean, Chariot can put out multiple cats. So yeah, Adversary could be interesting. It's just a powerful card in general. Loyal Warhound. I don't really like because it's dependent on what our opponent's doing. Professor Symbology is pretty obvious, right? Let's just learn. Reid's Informant is an interesting new 2-drop from Streets of New Capenna. When enters the battlefield, connives. This just enables us to go through our deck faster, so that's cool. Then obviously there's Spirited Companion, which lets us draw a card, so that's a nice one. Sun Gold Sentinel can exile cards, that's okay. What else is there? Obviously there are the discard effects, if we want to go Abzan. Let's just put in an Exposition Expert as a reference here. Is there anything else? Adversary, not really an adversary deck. Yeah, here Masked Vandal. When enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you exile target artifact or gem an opponent controls, that's very flexible, right? So that's something we can consider. We already got the Innkeeper, Venom Connoisseur. So what I'm doing here right now is just go through every mana value and see if there are interesting end of the battlefield effects that would make us wanna branch out into other colors too, right? Into colors besides Selesnya. I mean, stuff like Elaine makes treasure tokens, but it's hard to cast. Okay. So we found some stuff on 2 mana. I think the most interesting ones are Professor Symbology, Spirited Companion for card draw, right? Reid's Informant is just cool because it's a new card, but between Informant and Companion, Companion is probably just better. And yeah, so now we go to 3 mana. So if you find anything interesting there. Oh, we actually have to filter again. Enters the battlefield. There we go. Okay, there's Brutal Kafar for removal. Extraction Specialist. That's a new one, right? Could bring back one of those 2-drop creatures. That's even more value. So Extraction Specialist is interesting, but it's very dependent on stuff we have in the graveyard. There's Inspiring Overseer. Gain a life, draw a card. It's okay. I think Mage's Attendant is interesting. It gives us a wider board and also gives us access to counter spells basically in white. And you know, if we get multiple ETBs, we get multiple of these wizards we can sack. This also goes great with Gala Greeters to trigger it multiple times. So Mage's Attendant is actually potentially pretty cool. Mila, no. Dar, let's just venture into the dungeon. Splendid Marshal is no. Rumor Gatherer. I mean, I'd rather have... I don't know, Rumor Gatherer is pretty cool. I'm just putting it in there for now, it's probably not something that we want. Skyclave Apparition is an obvious one. What else is there? Glasspool Mimic. Glasspool Mimic can copy Titan of Industry, that's pretty cool. But it would require us to branch out into Band. So now we're in black. Callous Blood Mage is pretty flexible. It can exile graveyards, draw cards, create a pest. Trespasser is also a good free mana ETB creature. Skullborn Merchant, just fine. What else do we have? Exhibition Magician. Makes treasures. Tracker gives us Investigate, but you know, if you want to draw cards, Companion is just better. Cemetery Prowler. Exiles cards is pretty cool. Jewel Thief is a new one, right? It's 3 mana free for Vigilance Tremble that creates a treasure token, so it also rams us. That's pretty cool. What else? the Stomper, Regulator. Biomathematician. Huh. Nimble Larcenist is interesting, but these are very hard to cast. Lagrella the Magpie. Lagrella is actually interesting, right? Because we can get more value out of our own creatures. Maybe Lagrella. It's possible. Circumvent is also interesting because ETB gained life, and then when it leaves, so that's it also leaves the battlefield when we flicker it with teleportation circle, right? We draw a card, so Circumventer is pretty cool. Okay, and then let's go to 4 mana. Enters the battlefield. Oops. Battlefield. Enters the battlefield. There we go. 4 mana. Alright, what do we have here? Cemetery Protector. Yeah, I mean Legion Angel, right? Can give us a lot of value. What's this? No. Squad Commander. Could we have a party theme? I mean, that's interesting, right? Just gives us a bunch of 1/1s. Anything else? You know, stuff like Undercover Operative is interesting because you can flicker it, and then every time it comes back, you can target a different creature that you want to copy. So that could be interesting. Then we would be in band. What else? What else? Not Professor lets us learn, but at 4 mana. I mean, we want to probably learn with Professor is just cheaper, and learn is better when you get it early in the game because it can fix your mana. Yasharn is obvious, right? Can find you land. But I think the obvious one is Quandary Cultivator. Let's just ramp you into the Sanctuary Warden. Manifestation Sage. Screw Intercept is gonna be too hard to cast. Construct. Alright. Went for 4 mana, 5 mana. What's that 5 mana? 5 mana ETBs. Sludgy Monster. Sludgy Monster. Whenever Sludgy Monster and Sludgy Monster enters the battle or attacks, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities. With base power and toughness 2/2. So this just can just turn off your opponent's creatures. That's interesting. Man, we're really missing some kind of creature like the Ravenous Chupacabra that just comes in and destroys the creature, right? Okay. Nothing over there. 6 mana. Shepherd of the Cosmos, which turns a permanent with mana value 2 less from graveyard to the battlefield. All-Seeing Arbiter. I mean, we can just try it if we're in band, right? You can just try it. End the battlefield, draw 2, discard card. Cemetery Desecrator can potentially come in and kill a creature, so that's interesting. Then would be an Abzan. So the Sunmaster is okay, right? But we already got a 6-drop here. Oops. And just makes more 2/2s. The 6/6 itself is not that interesting, so I think we won't need the Huntmaster. Alright, and then let's go to 7 mana or 7 plus. Cyclone Summoner doesn't work. I really like Duskmangler. 7 mana 5/4. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. When Duskmangler enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. I think that's super powerful. Cultivator, Colossus, Bookworm. Okay. I think we went through all of it. So now the big task is to go through these creatures and just cut out the ones you definitely don't want to have. I think Spirited Companion is certainly nice for drawing cards. Farmhand, I don't really like. At 2 mana, we want to probably ramp, draw cards. So this is the stack that we definitely want to have. I do want to try the Gala Greeters. I think can just give a lot of value. Dawnbreaker Cleric is just a burst Mass Vandal, so no. Adversary, we're not a go wide strategy, so Adversary is a no. Sun Gold Sentinel for... yeah, I guess for... exiling cards is nice. But we really just want to overwhelm our opponent. Acquisition Expert is a no. Mass Vandal is a maybe. Right, and then we got the Informant and Prof. I think with Informant is just worth Spirited Companion, so that's a no. And Professor is also a maybe, so I put them to the side here for now. Then 3 mana. We have the Topiary Stomper, right, which I definitely want to try. And we do run a ramp in the stack, so I think I'm going to try 4 of these. Extraction Specialist is only good if there's already something in the graveyard, which we can't guarantee. So I think we cut this. I really like actually Mage's Attendant because it gives us a counter spell in white, which is insane. Glassbolt Mimic is gonna be a no, I think. I think in these lower mana value, in the lower mana value, we want to ramp, right? We want to ramp or answer stuff. So stuff like Blood Mage or Trespasser just don't do what we want to do. Lagrelda Magpie is hard to cast, so let's cut that. Cemetery Prowler, again, is situational. We just want to overwhelm our opponent, right? I mean, it's nice to exile stuff. In a way, can ramp us. Let's put this in the maybe category. I do like Jewel Thief, it also ramps us. It's just a good creature, right? 3 mana, 3 Vigilance Trample. Skyglaive Apparition is obvious, can remove stuff. Stuff like Experiment was here is just not what we want to do. Rumor Gatherer is potential card draw. So is Circuit Mander. We definitely need card draw, right? So right now we just have the Spirited Companion. I think I'd rather have a Skyglaive Apparition than Brutal Cathar. I mean, we need to cut a lot to make this work. And I think Thurgomander is a maybe because it draws cards. Rumor Gatherer is just too situational. So these are our potential 3 drops. And then Squad Commander, we got a Druid. This won't work, we won't have a party really. Legion Angel is a maybe, but we probably won't have space for it, I guess. Let's put it into the maybe. Undercover Orbiter is just a meme really. Let's cut that. Ezreal's Chariot is great. Yusharn. We just want to ramp, right? So I don't think we have the need to draw more lands, actually. I'd rather draw more cards, actually. Chronix Cultivator is certainly interesting. Certainly is. However, if you look at the top end, we should choose between being in Band or in Abzan, right? Sludge Monster, actually okay. So if we have enough ramp already, Chronix Cultivator is gonna be unnecessary. And I really like the top end Duskmangler, so I think we cut the Cultivator, we go out of Band. This just gets rid of these blue cards. And then we're left with this rest of the power, right? Again, Tovola Sunmaster just does the same thing as Chariot, and Sanctuary Warden is just better, so let's cut that. And I really like this Dusk Mangler. It can really destroy your opponent. Sack a creature, discard card, lose 4 lives, so like that. Desecrator as a one-off is probably cool. It can exile something from the graveyard and then kill something, I like that. So we're left with this for now. So let's look at the stack. So we got, and now we want to look at the stack. Okay, now we want to look at the stack that we've just built and see what it has and what it's missing. So we definitely have a big top end already. We don't need anything more there. And if I look at stuff like Desecrator, we do want to have removal, but a 6 mana or a 7 mana, we want to do our other splashy things and not remove something. So I think we cut the Desecrator. And let's see. Let's take a look at our ramp first. So we have 4 Topiary Stompers, we got 4 Innkeepers. And that's our ramp so far. I actually want to have more ramp to get to our big stuff faster. So what other ramp could we have? I mean, Gala Greeters, it's kind of ramp, right? Creating tapped treasure tokens. And then we have Jewel Thief. I guess if we count the Gala Greeters, then we actually have 12 sources of ramp, which makes the Jewel Thief unnecessary. And I'd rather have a more card draw in the deck. Alright. More card draw would mean something like Circuit Mander. Right, in the free drop slot. So this would be a free drop. The more I think about it, if I look at the stack, we want to ramp it like 6 or 7. So I think it's actually, you could make the argument to cut the Workshop Warchief, but I'll leave it in for now. We probably cut the Masked Vandal, Cemetery Prowl, Legion Age. We just don't have the space for it. Alright. Alright, what else? So, concerning ramp, we got 12 sources of ramp, right? We got Stompers, Greeters, Innkeepers. Alright. Then let's take a look at card draw. We got Companions. We got Circuit Manders. And that's it. So that's, I mean, Sanctuary Warden is card draw, but it's very late in the game. So I at least like to have 2 more sources of card draw to make it more consistent. So maybe 2 more Circuit Manders. But this only happens when it leaves the battlefield. That's the downside for sure. Cut these Professors. I actually think we should cut the Workshop Warchief, right? If we're at 5 mana or 6 mana, we already want to cast our big stuff. So cut that, and I think the 1 Dusk Mangler is not worth it to go into Abzan, so let's cut the Dusk Mangler. We still have 24 lands. I mean, this deck we will probably want to have 26. Which leaves us with these 2. So let's take a look at card draw. We got Companion, Circuit Mander, and occasionally Sanctuary Warden. Alright. So maybe let's take a look at the curve to make things easier. This is what our curve looks like for now. So what we're really missing in this deck is removal, right? I mean, Titan of Industry can destroy artifacts or enchantments. But that's about it. Let's put these to the side. I really like the idea of Mage's Attendant. Gives us access to counter spells. But for now, we need the card draw, right? Huh. We need card draw and everything. Okay, so for now the stack has ramp, it has card draw, but it doesn't really have removal. That's the big downside. So is there a way we could slot in removal in the land base? I mean, there is... Reset. I mean, there is Eiganjo, right? Eiganjo is kind of removal. Boseiju is kind of removal. So that's what we can work with. It's also a big trampler. So I think we've reached a point in the deck building where maybe you just have to go out there and try out the deck, see how it feels, right? And then adjust from there. So for now I'm going to put the Apparition and Mage's Intendant into the sideboard. And I'll just leave it there for later deck building. And yeah, let's just craft the stuff for now. And then we want to build our land base, so definitely want to have an Aganjo in this deck. Let's put in Boseiju. Where is it? Boseiju. Very nice. What else is there? Let's get the dual lands, obviously. So you got the pathways, the farmlands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have stuff like Jedmir's Garden and Headquarters, which we can cycle, right? Gives us a little bit more flexibility in the deck. I like to put in like 2 Headquarters. It's nice, right? It's another dual land and can cycle itself, so that's real nice. And then we want to have some man lands, so maybe put in a cave. This isn't the greatest cave deck. And maybe a layer of the Hydra. And then, since we're just 2 colors, I think we can afford to put in a Field of Ruin. Like 2 Fields of Ruin. Why not? And there you go. So this is the first draft of our deck, I would say, right? So lower curve we got Spirited Companions for the card draw, Galagrius and Innkeepers for... I mean, Innkeeper is for ramp and life gain, Galagrius has multiple modes, multiple values. Tobias Serum per Ramsa, Circuit Mander can gain us life, draws a card. Mander and Innkeeper also enables us to stay in the game early against aggro. And at 4 mana we have our key, or like our core game pieces in Teleportation Circle and Chariot. And then we got our fat top end and Sanctuary Warden Time of Industry. So let's go this ETB Tribal for now. And let's just try it out. Alright, we got the first game here with ETB Tribal. This looks like an okay starting hand. Got a 2-drop, 3-drop. This is Auras. Now, unfortunately, we won't be able to play our 2-drop, but we will be able to play our 3-drop here. Unless we draw into a untapped land, which we don't. We could put in stuff like Portable Hole, right? Against aggro. Right, so let's just play our 3-drop in Topiary Stomper. And get... I think it doesn't really matter, let's just get a forest. Get a forest. Or we got a land drop for next turn. And we probably just get another Stomper out, or we could get the Teleportation Circle out actually. Might be already dead by that time, but you know. Didn't attack with the Naturalist, okay. Ha! He thought the Tobias Stamber could block, which he can't. Okay, let's play a Chariot, he can block some stuff. Play the Cave, pass. And next turn we got the Sanctuary Warden, which can block stuff, right? Because it's gonna have 2 shield counters on it. So Warden into Teleportation Circle is certainly very interesting. Oh man, Runes. Man, Runes is such a bullshit deck. You gotta hate it. Just gotta hate runes, man. Really? The nice thing about Stomper is that it can crew the chariot. So this gives us some more blockers. We have to block some damage here, right? Gala greeters, okay. I think what we do here is we play the greeters and the circle. And then we flicker the chariot, gain some life. Gain life. I think a treasure token isn't really doing anything. And I think we just lost, right? Yeah, maybe just like a Skyclave apparition is better than the Circuit Mender. Can deal with a lot of stuff. Okay, let's just get out of this game and change this up immediately. So I'm gonna exchange the Circuit Mender for a Skyclave apparition because we still need removal. Okay, we're back in deck building and at 3 mana. We can actually... Oops. Let's put the Circuit Mender into the sideboard, but we do want the Skyclave apparition here. Skyclave. It can just deal with a lot of stuff and it's good against runes, right? So let's make the adjustment and go back to the games. Alright, second game here, we got destroyed by runes in the last game. But this was certain promising, got an Innkeeper into a teleportation circle. Which is probably one of the best stars we can have. Right, because we ramp into the circle and when we cast the circle we can flicker the Innkeeper and we immediately get the treasure back. So that's nice. That also works. Yeah, let's stomp this up. People might still not know how this works. So, maybe he won't attack. Oh, he does. Okay. Okay. So depending on what we draw next, if we draw something... So we might drop the teleportation circle. If we have a follow-up play like a Titan of Industry or something.
I'm the new boss around here.
Otherwise just play another Stomper to activate them.
My goons will make quick work of you. Go ahead, plead for mercy.
I do like the Gala greeters here. They just gain us some life. Gain life. Get a plains. Got 6 lands here. And we can next turn play Apparition with Circle and just get rid of these Obnixilae.
Defy me, and you'll lose.
Which are insane cards.
Oh, I have a job for you.
Okay, there's Fable. Woo! Sanctuary Warden, let's go. But I think we do this first. Teleportation circle, Skyclave. Gain 2 life. Alright, we can exile the token, but we can exile this up Nixilis.
My revenge will be cruel.
No attacks, we flicker the Skyclave and also exile the Fable. We put a 1-on counter on Gala Greeters, so that when we block these devils, they can just ping it down. And next turn we got a Sanctuary Warden, which you can flicker. I actually didn't notice that there's like a synergy between Gala Greeters and Sanctuary Warden, right? Where Gala Greeters can have counters on it, and you can remove the counters for card draw, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I just won't block here. We're gonna gain back a lot of life anyway. Give me the value. Give me the cards. Okay, Field of Ruin. This activates the Stompers, which is really nice. Put a counter on the Greeters. I'm gonna remove a counter from the Greeters again. Greeters trigger, gain 2 life. Companion is fantastic. So if I attack, he can double block with the devils and kill my apparition, which I don't want to happen. I actually think it's fine if that happens. It's fine if it happens. We're gonna flicker the Sanctuary Warden anyway. Go in there, Stompers. What do you kill? Yeah. It's fine. The Warden. And now I think remove the counter from the Greeters. Whoa, yeah! Give me the Titan of Industry, baby. Hell yeah! Let's go. Let's go. Value. Value. What do we want? We want to destroy an artifact or enchantment and probably just gain 5 life. And we can do it twice anyway. Titan of Industry. Hello? Yeah.
Go sow some chaos.
Yeah. No, my Greeters. He's probably getting rid of it so that I don't gain more life, but he doesn't know about this Titan. Kills a citizen. Goes face. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we definitely gained life. Really? Really? I'm gonna block the Stompers because I want to keep the She counters on the Warden. Dude, those Stompers are doing work. Ooh, yes. Let's see if he concedes. Actually, first of all, let's kill Planeswalker and you go face. And yes, I'd like to draw a card. Chariot. Titan!
You've gone and ruined all my fun.
Let's go Titan. Destroy artifact enchantment, target player against 5 life. Ha! Flicker the Titan, please. Another 5 makes 4/4. I mean, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. The opponent has 9 mana, which means with a Meat Hook Massacre can clear everything, right? But it taps him out, and we got follow up, we got card draw. Man, Titan of Industry is insane. This tower play against 5 life just stabilizes you against deck like these. Yeah, GG. Alright, this already felt a lot better, right? Skyclave Apparition was doing a lot of work. Alright, so we're going back into deck building here. Because I noticed this deck has some issues. So first of all, I'm not really sure about Chris' briefcase, but that's not the big thing that this deck is missing. Deck is missing 2 things. First of all, it's missing a clear win condition. So initially we had stated, well, we're gonna outvalue the opponent with Teleportation Circle and get repeated value from the ETB triggers. That's fine, but still there's not yet an actual win condition. And then the second problem is that that there is just not enough card draw. So what we need is, we need a clear win condition, and we need card draw. And I was thinking that initially when building the deck, we had this 7 mana black creature. What's it called? Duskmangler. Duskmangler 7 mana 5/4. As initial cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. Which in our deck probably most of the time is sacrifice a creature or pay 4 life. And then when it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. So, in a way, I would call this like an Invoke Despair on a body, more or less. Because with Invoke Despair, the opponent has to sacrifice a creature, often loses a bunch of life when they can't fulfill the sacrifice requirement of Invoke Despair. And discard a card is unique to the Duskmangler, so there's a difference. But Duskmangler could be a win condition, right? If you get this on the board, and then you flicker it immediately, the opponent has to sacrifice his creatures, and discard cards, so that could be pretty powerful. So I'm thinking adding Duskmangler and adding some black to the deck. That's one thing we can do. The other thing is, concerning card draw, we could branch out into blue. And, you know, just see how we can draw cards. We could try even the score, because we usually have a lot of mana. And even the score allows us to just draw a bunch of cards, right? So even the score, X blue blue blue. Instant, the spell costs blue 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 less to cast if an opponent has drawn 4 or more cards this turn. Draw X cards. So that's also something we could do, right? To basically have more card draw in the deck. Also, we could even put this in and ignore the mana requirement, because we can generate treasures in this deck. Same goes for Duskmailer. So what we can do is we can tackle one problem first with the win condition, right? So I think we're gonna replace these briefcases again. Do we? I mean, if you use a treasure with Duskmangler, we don't really have space for the briefcase in that regard. So we can replace the briefcase again with the Prosperous Innkeeper. And I probably want to cut one Titan of Industry and cut something else. Maybe cut an Estika's Chariot, something like that. And then our win condition would look like Duskmanglers, right? Hosing our opponent, and the rest is just still some value, right? So I want to try out this and just see how it goes. Okay, here we go. So we added the Duskmangler win condition. This looks like a fantastic starting hand. And we're probably gonna lead off with the Gala Greeters. Which can start ramping us. Okay, this is like a Simic ramp. You know, we can play an Innkeeper and a Companion. And just attack here. With a 2/2 Greeter. Also this way we can play the Teleportation Circle next turn and start drawing cards with the Companion. Alright, seems good. Play the Pathway. Let's attack first. It's fine if the Innkeeper dies. Draw a card. Create more treasures with the Greeters. Okay. And already, as you can see, we have the mana here next turn if we were to draw into a Duskmangler. Right, pay 7 mana, probably 4 life. Okay, people are already ramping the hell out of this new format. I like it. Let's freaking go. Okay, that's absolutely brutal. I love it. We're just gonna pay 4 life. We can get another treasure token. Opponent has to discard a sack creature, discard a card. And opponent says 6 lands, so the Stormbird can't block. So we can just attack freely. The Duskmangler is insane. What Let's put a counter on the greeters. Okay, Dusk Mangler is pretty sick, man. Maybe I actually should have made a treasure in case we draw another Mangler. Wow. Okay, Dusk Mangler feels great. Maybe it was the win condition we were missing. Alright guys, then we're here to wrap up this ETB Tribal Abzan Midrange deck, right? This is the final version and I'm very happy with this final version. I had extremely good results and the deck seems very powerful. It's a deck that, you know, just has a lot of gas going, can put a lot of pressure on the opponent. And most of the time you just never run out of gas. You can just push your opponent and it's really fantastic. So let's go through this final version last time. Our true win condition in this deck is 3 copies of Dusk Mangler, which also is our only black card in the deck. 7 mana, 5/4, as an additional cost to cast a spell. Sacrifice a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. And when Dusk Mangler enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, discards a card, and loses 4 life. If you resolve this once and then flicker it with Teleportation Circle, the swing, the swing in the game is just absolutely huge. Your opponent has to discard 2 cards, sacrifice the creature, and loses 8 life. So really powerful win condition together with Teleportation Circle. And the rest of the deck just ensures that we get there by being able to ramp and just get repeated value from our stuff, right? So we got 3 copies of Essica's Chariot, which are great for flipping, like flickering with Teleportation Circle. Just can make cats over and over. It can really stabilize you in the early game. We got Skyclave Apparition as our removal spell of choice. Also what's nice is if we flicker with Teleportation Circle, we can target something new and our opponent is only getting an illusion back, which we can also exile permanently with our Portable Hole, which is an artifact, so this can also be flickered by Teleportation Circle. And Portable Hole just helps us also in the early game against stuff like runes. Then we got Spirited Companion, that lets us go through our deck faster. It's also a potential target for Teleportation Circle to help us with card draw. 4 copies of Prosperous Innkeeper. It helps us tremendously with the life gain to stabilize against aggressive decks. Also ramps us directly into Teleportation Circle. And the Dream Opener for this deck is a turn 2 Innkeeper into a turn 3 Teleportation Circle, because then you can flicker the Innkeeper immediately and you immediately get the 1 treasure back that you sacrifice to pay for the Teleportation Circle. Gala Greeters is the secret MVP of this deck. I really love this card, can give you so much value. The life gain is really important to stabilize against certain decks such as Rakdos. Creating tap treasure tokens can really help you get faster to your Dusk Mangler. And then the 1 on counter, most of the time isn't that relevant, but oftentimes later in the game you have a very easy time putting 3 creatures on the board in a turn, so you get the full value. And the 1 on counter has some synergies with Sanctuary Warden, which can remove the 1 on counter to draw a card and create a token. Speaking of which, 4 copies of Sanctuary Warden. This is just like the card that in the mid game helps us like stabilize and helps us draw cards. And if you flicker this, it builds a board, draws a card. It's just a fantastic mid-rangey card, really nice, and has some protection with the shield counters. And then finally, 2 copies of Vivien on Hunt, which is, I think this is the perfect deck for Vivien. So she can make tokens, right? 4/4s that can crew the Chariot, and Chariot can copy the tokens. So that's some neat little synergy. But every mode on Vivien is nice in this deck. So the -1 creates a token, obviously. The +1 mill 5 cards, put any number of creature cards, mill this way into your hand. In the late game, this is insanely good. In the late game, we won't have any mana issues at all. And the +1 in this deck can often give you like 3 creatures, so just a lot of gas to work with. And then the +2 is actually useful in this deck because we can sacrifice a Sanctuary Warden to find a Dusk Mangler and this way find our win condition. So this is the final version. Really powerful deck, a lot of fun to play. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I see you guys soon.